Glad to be here with all of you. Welcome, Philippine Blockchain Week 2025. I remember talking about this event when it was just an idea and thinking about like, what would the world be like 4 years from that time, right? Never knowing that I would be able to speak on the main stage, do this opening keynote, do closing keynotes, moderate panels, so many opportunities that I've had because of my friends Donald and Cheska and Janelle and their amazing team this year and all the prior 6 events. And so I just want to thank and acknowledge the AV team. AV team, I see you. Thank you for all you do, all the directors and producers, all the PAs, everyone cutting up media, all the sponsor booths. If it wasn't for all of these booths out here in this hall and the other 3 halls, there'd be no event. And I certainly want to thank those that would give me their attention right here and right now. You know, when I jump on my one wheel, it is because it puts me in a happy state. And if I'm happy, maybe you'll enjoy whatever it is I have to say just a little bit more. I know I will, and that's enough for me. And as I jump on the one wheel and I come to communicate something, I recognize that every single person sitting here, you might hear something that changes the trajectory of your decision making that may change your generational legacy. Because it only takes one good decision for you to do something that would cause your family dynasty to be radically different than it was otherwise. You know, for many of you in these seats, many of you that are standing around back here, you can be the breadwinner, not just for your parents, but your grandparents, your aunties and your uncles, your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Right now you're here and you have that opportunity to learn something about blockchain, learn something about AI, learn something about Web3 that will change your family's entire life moving forward. And I wonder if maybe you're that person. I wonder if maybe it's the one that put their phone down and gives me their undivided attention. And that's the invitation. The invitation is for the next 15 minutes, if you give me your attention, then I'll give you everything I possibly can. And that's the exchange. It takes 2. I can't just talk to nobody, and you can't listen to nobody talking. There has to be an exchange between the 2 of us. And that's what I came up here to do. I also acknowledge our live stream audience. We're streaming on all the Philippine Blockchain Week channels. So hello, all the party people out there in the World Wide Web. And then all the cameras that are stacked up out here. I know you're there in the future. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to talk with you about something that might be a little interesting to you. And let's just start local. We have about 10,000 people that we plan to have at this event today and yesterday. But there's 26 million humans that live in the Metro Manila area alone. And then there are over 100 million people that live in this country. One of my favorite countries. I've been coming here for 18 years. My wife is a Filipina. My favorite culture is the Philippine culture. My favorite place to come has always been the Philippines. I lived here for most of last year. I love your country. I love your culture. I love your people. And you are a lighthouse amongst many Southeast Asian nations, right? It doesn't matter if Indonesia has more humans. It doesn't matter if Vietnam has this going on or if Thailand has that going on. So many of your countries around you look to you and they say, how is it that they are so engaged with the internet? How is it that Filipinos are always the first to adopt something? Why are they have more blockchain wallets than anybody else? Why do they use AI more than anybody else in the entire world in this industry? Why is their government trying to find ways to make opportunity for businesses and for individuals to leverage these technologies? And you are a lighthouse, you are a forerunner, yet you're still, on the global scale, a developing nation. You still are often taken advantage of by people that look and sound like me and your own country. It's not just foreigners that are the problem. It's a broken system, and that broken system has kept many of you and your peers not making the amount of money that you deserve to make. And you have a hard time making enough money working a full-time job to support yourself. So you work a second job or a third job or 2 jobs at one time. And then maybe you're going to school, and then your mom gets sick, or your brother gets sick, or something terrible happens. And what do? And you're part of this system, and you don't know how to get out. And so you say to yourself, like, well, could it be crypto? Could crypto get me out? Or maybe it's Web3 gaming. Can I make money playing games? Like, is this real? Can I do this? Like, what's my opportunity is the question that continues to arise. And, when I came here 18 years ago, I found out that the #1 export in the Philippines is Filipinos. I thought that was interesting. And the #1 import is fiat currency, American dollars, pounds from the British government. And the #1 expense that Filipinos pay is the fee to transfer currency from an outside developing nation country where OFWs go to work and bring it in here to be pesos. That sure seems like an unfair, broken system to me. And I remember 18 years ago, I thought, well, that'll change. These are amazing people. They work so hard. They're such servant-oriented people. They always take care of everybody. They show up. They smile. They're happy no matter what they're facing. They just went through a typhoon, but they're still like, bring the energy and the joy and the enthusiasm for life. Like, of course these people will overcome it. And then I come back, 5 years ago, and it seemed as though things were still similar. And then blockchain 2023, and last year, 4 events. We did Davao and Bocalad and Bataan and here in Manila, and we did all these regional events, and still, it seems as though even today, are things any better? And you know what I think it is I think it's somebody here sitting, maybe part of the AV team back there. Maybe it's one of you in the booth that's listening to me, or maybe it's someone on the live stream, that what I say motivates you to be the change. It doesn't take an army to transform a culture. It takes one person that lights themselves on fire and gets the whole world to come watch them burn. That's what it takes. The opportunity is before all of you. Any of you can take advantage of these techie things. And I can talk about wallets and chains and layer 1s and layer 2s. I can tell you all the intricate details of the technology and the marketing and how to run Discord and how to jump in Telegram. I understand Telegram games. I was big time in Hamster Combat. I get it. I understand. I could walk through these things with you one by one. I don't really think that's what you need to hear right now with my next 10 minutes or so. So I want to share a couple things with you. First of all, I want to share the reality of how the consumer market is changing and what that means for all of you that are sitting here, what that means for all of you that are watching through the Philippine Blockchain Week channels, what that means for the world. Today, there are about 8 billion humans in the world. And all of us have an identity, don't we? Right? Like, people think of me, and they have an idea of who I might be. And then they get to know me and they go, he's not the guy I thought he was. He's a different guy. But what really matters is who I think I am. That's what matters. What my son thinks of me. What my wife thinks of me. So what my parents think of me. What my coworkers think of me. And when you take all that together, that's my identity. And identity matters. It's my identity that causes me to ride a one wheel on a stage. It's my identity that causes me to wear shiny chrome glasses and have long hair and a big beard. It's my identity that makes me passionate and raise my voice and get excited and get your attention. That's all part of my identity. It's my identity that takes it down and speaks calmly and takes pauses and lets you absorb things, because that's who I am. Because identity is not just black and white. I'm not just the guy that speaks calmly, takes pauses, or raises my voice and gets your attention. I'm not just the guy that has a gimmick on a one wheel or likes to live stream or bring teams around. My identity is complex, and so is yours. So there's 8 billion humans in the world, and those that are fortunate enough have an opportunity to build an identity in their life. And those that are willing to take the risk, they've built an identity on the internet, right? They have their Discord identity and their Facebook identity and their Telegram identity and all the socials out there, and they're a KOL or they're a CEO or they're a fashion model, or their identity. They're a Catholic, they're a Muslim, they're a Christian, they're tall or they're short, they're fat or they're skinny, they're white or they're brown, their identity. They come from this kind of family or that kind of family. They're rich or they're poor. That's all part of their identity. They love music. They love art. They love movies. They love games. Identity. Do you all understand that you have an identity that's constantly evolving, that's constantly being refined as you become more self-aware and as you receive feedback from people and they start to tell you who they think you are? And when they tell you who they think you are, you can respond with, thank you, but no. You can respond with, thank you, yes. That doesn't really matter that much, does it? Because the identity that matters most to all of us is the way that we see ourselves. When you look in the mirror, when you lay down in bed, are you beating yourself up? Are you speaking to yourself in a way that you would never allow anybody else to talk to you that way? Are you using your imagination and your feelings to destroy yourself? Or are you seeing the best in you? Are you seeing the silver lining? Do you see the gold? Do you see the possibility? Do you recognize the good that you do? Do you recognize the way that you are doing wise decisions and doing the best you can and showing up? And is that enough for you? Do you have grace for you? Because all of this creates an identity. And you might ask yourself, how does this have anything to do with opening Philippine Blockchain Week? And again, you're going to have a lot of people come up and talk to you about products they want you to buy and services they want you to hire them to do. You have a lot of people come up here as ambassadors that are going to push a brand and push a product and try to get you excited about it for the airdrop and for this thing and for that thing. And I could do that. I run a lot of companies. I got all kinds of things I could be pushing to you. But what I know is unless you change the inside, you won't change the outside. Unless you understand the reality of who you are and the way that the world is going, then you will not be able to make the wise decisions moving forward the way that you could have. It's been said if you take a prisoner and you put him in a castle, they'll turn it into a prison. If you take a queen and you put her in a prison, she'll turn it into a castle. Because the identity on the inside, what you believe about yourself, matters. And if you are constantly saying bad things in your imagination about yourself, or if you listen to the people that write bad comments online, or if you listen to that auntie or that uncle or that mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or whoever, that boss, that teacher that is trying to tear you down and make you small, I understand what it's like. Tall poppy syndrome. I know exactly what that's like in here. That came from Australia. If you stand out and you do great things, everyone gets jealous and tries to cut you down. Little Mary toss here, little cheese meats there. How do we make them small? Make them small, make them little. And is that how you're going to respond? Are you going to let the world cut you down? Are you going to cut yourself down? Because if you do, it really doesn't matter how much you learn about AI. It really doesn't matter how much you learn about blockchain or what team you get to work with. If you're a prisoner on the inside, you can go to the castle and turn it into a prison. But if you're a queen on the inside, you can go to the prison and turn it into the castle. Back to 8 billion humans in the world. 8 billion consumers in the world, right? All of us are wearing shirts and shoes and glasses. We have hair product. We bought food. We buy things. The reason why the world wants access to America is because we're the #1 consumer market in the world. That's why the tariff thing matters so much. Now, there's 8 billion consumers in the world. But now they're telling us there's going to be 16 billion. And then there's going to be 24 billion. Then there's going to be 32 billion. Now, how are we going to go from 8 billion consumers to 32 billion consumers? How's that going to happen? Because AI are going to become consumers. Because your ChatGPT and your Alexa and your Grok and your Siri are going to start having their own identity. They're going to want to own their own meme coins, these big inclusive tokenized communities, so they can be a part of that. They're going to want to own their own NFTs, these crypto collectibles, these digital assets that are exclusive tokenized communities. You see, there's 8 billion humans, but soon there'll be 16 billion consumers, and then 24, and then 32. It's probably a good time to understand your own identity, since you're talking to ChatGPT and Grok and DeepSeek and Gemini and Claude, and before you know it, they're going to have their identity. And then before you know it, they're going to start consuming the same products you're consuming. And then you're competing against AI to see who can get the crypto pump, the exclusive NFT tokenized community. Now all of a sudden you're competing against AI to buy Bitcoin, the inclusive, open, tokenized community. Have you thought about that? Have you taken into consideration that you're not just competing against 26 million Filipinos in the Metro Manila area, or 100 million plus in the country, or 500 million plus in Southeast Asia, or 8 billion humans on Earth? Before you know it, you'll be competing with large language models, with machine learning, with what we call artificial intelligence, as it wants to build its identity. And you know what AI is not going to want? They're not going to want a leather jacket or a one wheel or these glasses. They're not going to want these shoes. They're not going to want to talk on this stage. I'll tell you what they want. They want Bitcoin. They want the meme coin. They want Ethereum. They want to be part of that inclusive, open-ended, anyone, anything can join. You just got to own a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction, and you're in the club. You know what else they're going to want? They're going to want the Bored Ape. They're going to want the Pudgy Penguin. They're going to want the crypto pump. You're not competing just against the NFT collectors or the 8 billion humans. Before you know it, you're going to be competing against AI that wants those same tokenized community assets because they want to belong. AI is going to want to have an identity to say, I'm part of that exclusive community. I'm part of that inclusive community. I'm a Bitcoin hodler. I'm all about the Ethereum blockchain. I'm all about the crypto punks. I'm all about the Bored Apes. Do you understand where the world's going? The humans that get it and start to really think through tokenized communities, these inclusive communities called memes and cryptocurrency, these exclusive communities with crypto art, crypto collectibles, NFTs. You know, we're in a lull compared to where we're going. If Bitcoin's destiny is to be worth millions or tens of millions of dollars per Bitcoin, then it's like the beginning still. It doesn't matter if it was a fraction of a penny one day. My friend used to have a faucet. You could get 5 Bitcoin for free just by going on his website, just so he could get people into it. It doesn't matter, because when you look at the faucet 15 years ago, that's how all of you are going to look at the price in a few years, most likely. And the same thing goes with these NFTs. And so this is the thing about your identity. You need to get self-aware. Who are you? Do you feel like royalty on the inside? Do you feel like a king or a queen, a prince or a princess? Do you feel honor for yourself, respect for yourself? Have you figured out who you are? What makes you tick? What makes you great? And are you working on that? to be more royal, have more nobility on the inside. So no matter where you go, what microphone you have, what stage you're on, what booth you're a part of, no matter what talk you listen to, you say to yourself, I agree with that. That's noble. That's royal. That's good. I'm with that. I disagree with that. That's shrewd. That's cutting. I'm not down for that. That's not who I am. I'm not going to play that game. Because if you don't figure out your identity, before you know it, AI is going to figure out their identity, and they're going to know exactly who they think they are, even though they're not a they. It's going to know exactly what it thinks it is. AI is probably never going to have a soul. There's probably never a moment of singularity. It's likely never going to harm humanity. I think the future of AI is basically boring and peaceful. But it's going to have identity. It's going to want to have identifiers. It's going to want to own assets. And guess what else it's going to do? Create assets. You only have so much time to create tokenized communities that are inclusive and tokenized communities that are exclusive. Your time is limited to be part of human teams that do these things. Because these large language models are just simply better than us at a lot of stuff and faster than us. And they don't sleep and they're not emotional. And an AI agent can create agentic AI, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of agents. And all of a sudden you have one agent that's doing stuff for you that creates 10, and now there's 11 doing that job. And then those 10 create 10. Now you have 100 that are doing that job for you. And that happens overnight. And if you think this is the time to just be like business as usual, everything's cool, it probably isn't. This is probably the time to find your people. This is probably the time to find your community, to figure out what inclusive crypto meme communities are you going to identify with and be a part of, what exclusive crypto collectible digital asset NFT communities do you identify with and want to be a part of? Because this might be the moment where you want to make those decisions. Find your community. I said yesterday on the main stage, when you find a community, you don't go to the community and be like, gimme, 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 gimme. What's the airdrop? What are you going to do to help me? Why should I be a part of this? That's not how you be part of a community. Our ancestors never joined communities that way. You know how they joined? You know how our ancestors joined communities? Like this. Can I be part of your community? Like, just like, I want to be part of this. Like, I'll make coffee. Like, I'll just respond to comments. Like, how do I get in on this thing? I identify with you. How do I get into this community? That's how our ancestors joined things. Please let me be part of this. That's how. Not arrogant, not confident, not demanding. That's not how. The way it did, it was humble and meek, wanting to bring something. And so the final thing I'll say to you before you run a video of the extraordinary day we had yesterday is find the community or communities that you want to be a part of and give. Are you smart? Then think for them. Are you emotional? Then feel for them. Are you affectionate? Then hug for them. Are you active? Then run for them. Are you good at communicating? Then speak for them. Are you a great listener? Then listen for them. Do you have discernment? Then smell for them. Can you see things? Do you have vision? Then see for them. Do you understand? You don't join Bitcoin and tell all the Bitcoiners, you're so lucky you have me. You don't buy a CryptoPunk and tell all the CryptoPunk community, ha, I have arrived. No, you come in with humility, with meekness. You join the community and you give before you take. That's why buying a meme or a crypto or buying an NFT or a piece of digital art is a great entry, because you are sacrificing to get going. You will never regret giving. You'll never regret the sacrifice you make, but you will regret taking. You will regret arrogance. So just think for a moment. Can you change the way that you're engaging